Our headlining fight, Curtis Blaydes versus Chris Daukaus. Curtis Blaydes is a pretty big favorite at minus 350. Chris Daukaus, underdog at plus 315. I think that line is probably pretty okay, you know? I mean, how do you break down this fight? Blaydes is the most dominant takedown artist in UFC heavyweight history. His striking is also coming along. He's no K1 champion or anything, but he's definitely gotten himself to a point where he's pretty comfortable on the feet, and he can hold his own on the feet, and he doesn't look uncomfortable or out of sorts there. You know, when you see him throwing punches, it's not like, that wrestler's trying to throw punches. It's not like Ben Askren or boxing, you know, like he does look pretty solid on the feet now. You know, he throws a nice 1-2 down the pipe. He has great cardio. He can fight hard for 25 minutes. He averages 6.2 takedowns per 15 minutes. I don't know the stats on heavyweights. I guarantee you there's never been a heavyweight in UFC history that averaged 6.2 takedowns per 15 minutes. Because heavyweights usually can't fight like that, right? That's why we don't see heavyweights wrestle that often, is because they usually don't have the cardio to do it. When you're a 260-pound human being, crashing into another 260-pound human being and then using your strength to try to manipulate that other 260-pound human being's body into doing what you want it to do, even when you're using technique, even though you know what you're doing and the technique is there, trying to do that against the full strength of another 260-pound human being requires a lot of energy, and there are not many human beings on the planet who can do it, and Curtis Blaydes is one who can. That is why he is special. Make no mistake, it isn't just... You know, Curtis Blaydes probably isn't the best wrestler in UFC heavyweight history. He probably is not technically the best wrestler. He's a really good wrestler who happens to have the cardio to use his wrestling consistently. I think that's the difference. And that's what we see with fighters like, that's why Bryce Mitchell is a special fighter. That's why somebody like Nick Maximov might turn out to be a special fighter. Fighters who, and I just went on a rant about this a couple videos ago, but fighters who have excellent wrestling skills and have both the tenacity, the desire, and the cardio to consistently push those wrestling skills, that's a very special, very dangerous kind of fighter that's very hard to beat, and that's why Curtis Blaydes is a special fighter, in my opinion. That said, so we've seen Curtis Blaydes lose in the UFC 3 times now, I believe. He lost twice to Francis Ngannou and once to Derek Lewis. And so in all of those, he was knocked out. Derek Lewis had that very special tactic where he kept that right hand. He's got the right hand cocked back here. He's ready. I mean, it was no secret. He was showing him what he had. He was like, all right, homie, I know you're going to come in for a takedown, but I'm just letting you know that I'm Derek Lewis, and I got this hammer right here that's going to be coming for you when you shoot that takedown. And I don't know if you've ever seen what happens when that Derek Lewis hammer lands on somebody. But yeah, Curtis Blaydes, I'm pretty sure he had seen what happens, and he experienced what happens too. But my point being that Curtis Blaydes has lost 3 times to big punchers who caught him coming in. So stylistically, Chris Daukaus is the kind of fighter that is Curtis Blaydes' kryptonite. Chris Daukaus is a big puncher who knocks people out with one punch, and who is quick, has good reaction times, probably is going to have a smart game plan. You know, Chris Daukaus is almost certainly going to have a game plan here that involves a knee or an uppercut or something when Curtis Blaydes comes in. So that's something we need to consider. Chris Daukaus is, in theory, the type of fighter that gives Curtis Blaydes trouble. However, as we always say, there's levels to this shit. And while Chris Daukaus might be the type of fighter, I don't think he's the level of fighter. I don't think he has that same crushing knockout power that Francis Ngannou has or that Derek Lewis has. And I'm not saying he needs that to finish Curtis Blaydes here, but he might. You see what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, even though I think Chris Daukaus is the type of fighter who can beat Curtis Blaydes, and he's probably going to have the game plan, I just don't know if he's quite at the level where he's going to be able to make it happen. Chris Daukaus has defended only 1 takedown in the UFC, and that was against Alexei Oleinik. And it was, like I said, Oleinik doesn't shoot double legs or anything. It was pretty much an attempted guard pull. That was the only takedown, I believe, that's on Daukaus' record as a takedown that he defended. Daukaus is a black belt in BJJ, and even though we haven't really seen him use it in the UFC, if you watch some of his older tape, you can find footage of him doing some grappling, and he does look pretty solid. But against who? You know, we're watching these fights in lower level organizations. I can't remember the name of the guy he was fighting, but we did see him. We did see him be able to kind of, what's the frickin' word I'm looking for? My brain's all over the place. Just a second. We were able to see him sort of use an elevator in reverse position. He was on bottom and he was able to slip out and get to top. I can't remember how it played out exactly, and I can't remember who he was fighting, but so yeah, in theory, he is a guy who's a pretty good grappler. But here's the thing. I do think Curtis Blaydes is going to be able to get takedowns. We know Curtis Blaydes has a really great top game. He's able to work that top game for 15 or 25 minutes. So even though Chris Daukaus is a BJJ black belt, are we going to see Chris Daukaus throw his hips up and armbar Curtis Blaydes? I don't think so. I mean, it could. It doesn't seem likely to me. Are we going to see Chris Daukaus all of a sudden? He's getting worked on bottom, and all of a sudden he locks up a triangle choke, and Curtis Blaydes is choking out or is tapping out. I don't think so. Are we going to see Chris Daukaus be able to scramble out from underneath Curtis Blaydes, and in a scramble take Curtis Blaydes' back and choke him out? I don't think so. You know, I mean, these are all things that they're not impossible, but you know, it seems unlikely to me. And one big question mark that remains about Chris Daukaus is his cardio and his heart. What does Chris Daukaus look if he's going late into a fight and it's not going his way? If Curtis Blaydes is able to get numerous takedowns in round one, and he's wearing on Daukaus, he's putting his weight on him, he's taking him down. Daukaus works back to his feet, which even if he gets up, that's like a moral victory, or it's a mental victory, but you still just used that energy to get up, and now Curtis Blaydes is going to take you down again, and you're going to use that energy to get up again. Let's say that happens 3 times in round one. How is Chris Daukaus feeling now? We know how Curtis Blaydes is feeling because we've seen him do it. He can do that all day. How is Chris Daukaus now going to be feeling going into round 2? What is his breathing going to be like? What is his footwork going to be like? If he throws punches, what are his punches going to look like? Is there going to be anything on him anymore at that point? And let's say the same thing happens in round 2, and now we're going into round 3. What does Chris Daukaus look like now? You know, we don't know, but I don't expect that Chris Daukaus is going to be this guy who can put together a strong, aggressive, effective 25-minute performance. I don't know that, but I don't expect that that's who he's going to show that he is. So, yes, I do greatly favor Curtis Blaydes here. One bet that I saw, I don't have the odds up in front of me here. I saw Curtis Blaydes inside the distance at like minus 115 or something, or maybe it was minus 135. I can't remember, but it was pretty close to even odds to get Curtis Blaydes inside the distance. And I think that's pretty decent because it is hard for me, you know, just for the reasons that I just explained as far as how that fight might play out. If Daukaus isn't able to find a finish on Curtis Blaydes early here, it's hard for me to see Daukaus surviving the whole fight. I think Blaydes is going to be able to wear on him and either find a ground and pound victory, or I actually put a little sprinkle. I put a little sprinkle on Curtis Blaydes by submission. Yeah, I did. I put 0.2 units on Curtis Blaydes by submission at plus 900. We haven't seen Curtis Blaydes go for submissions, really. That's not really his thing. But as this fight wears on, especially if we are seeing Chris Daukaus trying to create scrambling positions and trying to get out from underneath Curtis Blaydes and that sort of thing, are we going to see scrambles, and are we potentially going to see Curtis Blaydes find an opportunity? You know, if Chris Daukaus is super tired and super sloppy and Blaydes is still a lot fresher, is he maybe going to be able to work to Chris Daukaus' back and find a choke? I don't think it's that unlikely. Ugh. Anyway, yes, I do favor Curtis Blaydes here. He's up at the point where I don't know if you'd want to use him as a parlay piece anymore. You could. If I was going to bet him, I'd probably bet him that inside the distance, like I said, or a sprinkle on that submission prop at plus 900. Or I did also put in my notes here, Chris Daukaus by KO is plus 425. If you think that Daukaus has a good chance to win, why not just play that KO prop, right? I mean, he is a BJJ black belt. Could find a submission, I guess, but that seems unlikely to me. I mean, we've seen the fighter that Chris Daukaus is. We've seen the way he prefers to fight. We've seen the way he prefers to find wins. And I think Daukaus catching Blaydes with something big coming in and finishing him with strikes is the most likely path to victory for Daukaus. So if you like him, I would probably just take that by KO prop plus 425. Woo! That is it.